How are you doing this morning?
We're good.
Great, fantastic.
Yeah, we've been visiting with people already this morning, and so it's been a lot of fun. We're happy to be here.
Is this your first time in Oklahoma City?
Yeah, for me it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been here before, maybe with the symphony or something years ago, but I think this is the first con that I've done with Oklahoma City. Yeah.
And how these fine folks here been treating you?
Yes,
Very well,
nice.
very well.
Thank you. So nice.
I mean, and speaking of traveling, you have been spending a lot of time in my hometown of Orlando lately. Spending a lot of time at Walt Disney World. There's obviously the new show is opening. So I mean, when do you have time to go home and relax? Because it seems like, by the way, who follows Jodi on socials? Yeah, you are always moving.
It's been great. It's been great. It's just one of those busy travel seasons, but I usually get home on a Monday and I leave on a Thursday, so that gives me a couple days at home. And, if it's every week, you just hang in there, and
Right.
then there'll be like next week after leaving from here, going to Walt Disney World for the week for work. But then after that, I have 5 days where I'm not traveling.
A whole 5 days.
Yeah, so it's good. It's all good.
And then, of course, preparing for shows and watching your daughter in shows. I mean, that's how does it feel to you to watch your daughter following those footsteps?
It's crazy, it's a crazy, volatile, unstable business. So when it's your child, you're always like, oh my gosh, going into the craziest industry of them all. But it's what she loves, and she's enjoying it and doing her thing and what she's been created to do. And so we're happy to travel around and support her wherever she goes. So, yeah.
I absolutely love it. I love watching your adventures. And then speaking of starting young, Chris, you started super young in the industry.
Yeah, I was 8. I was 8 years old.
8 years old.
In New York, yeah.
So how does an 8-year-old get involved into the entertainment industry?
Oh, I was actually on a bus, a public bus with my mom, and an agent saw me and said, "Hey, that kid should probably be in modeling." And it was literally that. And then the rest is history. Yeah.
And then you were truly 16 years old.
I think it was 15, actually.
15 when you auditioned?
When I did Little Mermaid, yeah. I was 15, yeah. I was just a kid. And I was doing a television series called Day by Day at the time. And so I just went in, auditioned, and none of us knew what it was going to be. Yeah. So it was really exciting when sort of just watch it unfold over time, over all these many years, and to see, generations of people appreciate it.
Did you know when you auditioned that it was a Disney movie?
Well, yeah, but we didn't.
Okay.
I mean, nobody knew that it was going to be the Disney movie that launched the Disney Renaissance.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks to her.
Thanks to the whole team.
And let's talk about that. Let's talk about that Disney animation revolution that Little Mermaid started. Because, the previous year, no offense to Oliver and Company, which I love. I had all the McDonald's toys, right? Any Oliver and Company fans? Right, but that didn't take off, right? It wasn't until the next year with Little Mermaid, then followed by Beauty and the Beast and so on. So how does it feel at what point did you realize that animation revolution was sparked?
Well, I think we really didn't have any idea while we were recording the film that so much was on the line for the studio. But I did notice, obviously, that the animators were off of the lot. So they had been moved to Flower Street in trailers. So they were no longer there at the studio. And so I thought, oh, that's really interesting. But we didn't have any clue of what was happening. We were kind of kept quiet about all of that. But I think as soon as the film came out, maybe it was actually in September, I think, when I got a call to go on press tour, because we were going to remain anonymous, which was the way that Walt had designed feature animation to be, where you would just let the credits roll at the end and freeze your VHS and figure out who's who. So the goal is not to attach a name to a character, but just get involved in the story. But when I got the call in September to go on press tour and do, 22 cities in 20 days, I was like, why? And they said, we're gonna change this up. We're gonna let people know who you are. At that point, I kind of thought something's a little different here, but it was shortly after the film, came out, and that, boy, it just changed all of our lives forever. The trajectory for me, definitely. After, been with the company who started in, gosh, it's been 38 years now. So it's crazy, to be here with all of you and celebrating our film, and we're very grateful.
It's so weird that you started when you were 1.
Oh, that's very sweet. No. no, but it's been an incredible journey, and we're thrilled that we get to share our story with all of you, and that the film still has a great impact in your lives, and as Chris said, in all these generations now.
Right, absolutely. And then Chris, I mean, being 15, 16 years old, and being, hey, yeah, we're gonna thrust you into the spotlight. What is that like? Did you think that like everything was changing from that moment, or were you still,
Well, I mean, yeah, I realized, I think when I was in the theater watching the premiere, I was sort of like, gee, I'm a big fan of The Great Mouse Detective, but this is some next level stuff. And so, it just sort of took off from there. And again, I was just a kid and along for the ride. I mean, as much as I love the Prince, Jodi and Pat, just the amazing talent that went into that film. I still watch now and I'm like, wow, I got to be a part of that?
Right. Literally, you were a part of this world.
That's right.
That's it, I'm done. So would you guys like to take some audience questions? Absolutely. So feel free to start lining up. As folks start lining up, I'm going to ask you one last question, and that is, amongst all your travels, whether it's in a studio, with the Walt Disney Company, at conventions, has there been kind of that fanboy moment where you saw maybe another celebrity and you kind of maybe put your foot in your mouth, maybe you couldn't speak, you kind of fanboyed out a little bit?
I'm trying to think. Well, I haven't met the person that would do that for me, which is Barbara Streisand. So, haven't met her, but I would love to. Her and Celine Dion, I think, would be earth-shaking. I've seen them both in concert, but I have not met them in person. I'm trying to think if I've been tongue-tied, meeting somebody. I don't think I have, but that's just because I'm old, so I've been around a long time. No, I can't think of anybody for me. What about you?
No, I think if I met, like Anthony Hopkins, I would just be like, or somebody like, Denzel Washington, or, I just wouldn't know what to say. I'd be speechless.
That'd be fun.
Hello, what's your name?
Amber Smith.
Hi, Amber, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm real nervous, so I had to write down my question. Okay. So, do either of you have any souvenirs or things maybe you stole from set from The Little Mermaid? Yeah, or illegally kept through contract or something.
Contributions made to you from the studio.
I have not. I don't think I've ever taken anything or had anything.
Well, when you're in an isolation booth,
Yeah, it's a voice thing. I'm sorry.
I think I stole one of the waters and
There you
made my
go.
way out.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm really nervous too.
Well, that's okay.
My name is Toby, and I have a couple questions, if that's okay.
I think so.
So, Miss Jodi, your time with Kingdom Hearts, did you experience that? You voiced in Kingdom Hearts, is that right? Yeah. Did you have a fun time? How was your experience with that?
Oh, it was fantastic. That team was amazing, and they were so kind because they really let me take kind of control as far as maintaining her integrity, and I really appreciated that. So I was able to go over dialogue and script with them just to make sure it sounded like Ariel. But yeah, it was a great project, a wonderful team, and really thankful that I could be part of that.
Yeah.
And then, so on the VHS, there was like a little commercial beforehand with the fish, and you were talking to him and everything. How was that experience for you?
Very fun. Yeah, of course, you're just talking to an empty tank,
Right.
but lots of fun. I mean, any of the projects with Disney are always fun. We have such an incredible group of people in the different divisions that I'm so thankful that I get to work with. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
I'm Krista.
Hi, Krista.
Hi. So both of y'all have had some other like iconic roles. Thumbelina, I really love, and then also like Prince Charming, you were in a couple of things. What is it about A Little Mermaid that y'all just love revisiting so much?
Well, I think it's such a classic story. We love the story, and because of the longevity, that's just a big part of our lives. And I mean, Ariel is me. That's my character, and so we're inseparable. And yeah, it's just an incredible experience to be able to continue to share the story with all of you, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it's because it's such a powerful coming-of-age story with a Faustian twist that it has universal appeal. I think that's why it's experienced such longevity and people have related to it through generations. And it was the first of the movies that launched the Disney Renaissance, and that makes it iconic. But also, I think that it's the first one where the female lead, the princess, rescues the prince first. So there was an interesting, and then, nowadays no big deal, right? But back then that was revolutionary. That was like what? And that was really kind of cool. So I think that made a huge impact on people's lives.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm a tall one.
Morning,
Hello.
guys.
Good morning. What's your name?
Amber.
Hi, Amber.
My question is for you, Miss. So you've done a lot of cameos as playing yourself, Little Mermaid, popping up in Enchanted. What's a cameo that you haven't been asked to do, but that you would love to pop in, like Lilo and Stitch, maybe?
Actually, Ariel and Stitch did a little fun little thing where they surfed together. I thought that was super funny. Yeah, no, I mean, anytime that Disney calls, like I say, it's going to be fun and creative. And I love the whole Easter egg, hidden Mickey thing. I love being able to be part of those types of stories are extra fun. So yeah, Enchanted was a blast. I had so much fun on that. And it really wasn't supposed to turn into a little part with lines and stuff. It just kind of evolved that way with the director. But yes, watching Amy put a betta fish in her mouth was really cool. It was fascinating because the betta fish had a whole entourage. So the betta fish had a manager and an agent. No, this is true. And then a PETA specialist, and then another specialist, an animal activist, protection services. So like 5 or 6 people. I had nobody, but the betta fish and then the betta fish had 3 standby betta fish. So there was like a principal betta, and then a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th betta. Of course, I had nobody to take my place. But when that scene happened, I mean, these 6 people just were, because she's got it in her mouth, obviously. And this team is just like, and with the clock, tick, tick, okay, wrap, stop, beta 2 comes in. And it was like all about the fish. And I was just like, this is so fascinating, and here Amy and I and Patrick, we're just kind of like doing our little lines, but it was all about protecting the beta.
I love that.
Meanwhile, the fish is thinking, what kind of job is this? Great, I got great representation.
None of his friends will believe it.
They're like monitoring her tongue, and they're looking to see, now take a breath. Okay, the water's coming in. But when they poured that beta into her mouth, I mean, you would have thought like the world was almost coming to an end, because it was just like, everybody was just so stressed out, and she had to keep her tongue in the right, not to swallow it. But we knew we had beta 2, 3, 4, so it didn't really matter, So I'm kind of like, what's the big deal? But you couldn't say that with PETA there and everybody else there, because it was like It was a big deal.
If that happens, they're like, we've got a sushi alert! A sushi alert!
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole thing, I'm sure it would have just shut down the whole scene. I mean, I think we probably would have stopped production. So poor Amy, she's just like, holding her tongue, I'm doing it. And they're talking to her while she's got it in her mouth. Like, how's it going, Amy? Do you have enough oxygen? How's it going? And she's like, So it was just like, I tried not to laugh because it was very serious. But it was hysterical. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm looking around at the crew, and the crew were just like, whoa, this is intense. Intense.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
If that was filmed now, like the way that they just film everything with digital, we would have all behind the scenes footage of that.
Yeah. So stressful.
It's a great story. Hello, what's your name?
My name's Brianna. I'm so nervous. I've wanted to meet you all my life, so if I start crying, just mind your business. So I have two questions that kind of tie into each other. The first one, whenever the live action came out and you were casted as the Dingle Hopper lady, how was it for you for that moment to come full circle?
Oh, it was super special. Yeah, I mean, with COVID and everything, it was like a 4-year silence NDA process. So I had been lying to everybody for 4 years. Felt really bad about that. But then got to London and then locked down for a month, So to film for 2 days, it was 30 days. And nurse coming to the room and testing. So I was literally locked up in a hotel. And so the whole thing just was crazy. But then getting to the set and just being able to be together and be with the cast and with the team, it was just amazing. And Hallie was so sweet, and we loved I'm so glad I got to be there and be hanging out with all of them for a few days. And the Dingle Hopper moment, that was Robbie is what I call him. We've been friends for 42 years, but he was the director. He and his partner were the executive producers, and he was the director. And I thought it was so sweet that they came up with this little precious moment, that if you went to the bathroom, you'd miss me, of course, but it was so sweet, such a sweet little moment, and I was really grateful, to get to be part of that. But it was a beautiful film. I thought it was beautiful.
And the second part, did the Dingle Hopper ever get stuck in her hair?
No. We were very careful about that as she was twisting like spaghetti, just to make sure that it did not affect her hair. Yeah, she was very careful with it.
Hello.
Hello.
My name's Zach.
Hi, Zach.
I got a question. Did anything go wrong while voice acting for The Little Mermaid?
It was a pretty smooth process for me, but I didn't see. It was a long time ago. I'm trying to think if anything went wrong. Nothing went wrong, but I will say this was interesting, is that when I was doing the recording, I noticed that they had a camcorder, they had a camera, and they were, videoing us, and these were the big old, back in the day, camcorder you held on your shoulder. And I was like, why are they recording me? And I thought, oh, they're going to do some of the animation to our expressions. And nowadays, of course, that's standard, but back then it was revolutionary. So nothing went wrong, but that was an interesting moment. I was wondering myself what was happening.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, good question.
Thank you.
Hello, what's your name?
Melody.
Hi, Melody.
Perfect, our daughter's name. That's lovely.
What was your favorite part of The Little Mermaid?
I think my favorite part of the movie is the song. I love the animation to the song part of your world, and I love the song. It's beautiful. But I like the whole film. I just, the process of making it was really special. We had a really good time in the studio. It was lots of fun. Made lots of mistakes, but that's okay. But had lots and lots of fun.
I think the best part is the legacy, right? For me, that's that we have all these many, many years later.
Thank you. Speaking of songs, Christopher, you obviously didn't have any songs. Are you remorseful that you didn't get a chance to sing, or are you thankful that you didn't have?
No, I'm good, thanks. I'm good. Good on the songs.
Hello, what's your name?
Hello, my name is Ronnie. And this is a question for both of you. So when you're either reading lines or you're performing in the booth or on stage, what are some techniques that you guys use to kind of keep yourself grounded, make sure that you don't have too much anxiety, all of that stuff?
I think for me, I do some good breathing beforehand. Obviously, making sure I'm hydrated, had sleep, worked out, do everything that I can to kind of get my instrument prepared. And I think in the studio, it's interesting, I was recording a song last week for Disney, little secret project, can't talk about it. But I found myself being nervous that day. It was a whole new team that I'd never worked with before. They didn't give me much time to record the song. Normally a full song with a refrain, 2 verses, a bridge, and a refrain, and an end, you have like 4 hours, let's say, with breaks to record a full-length song, 3 minutes and 45 seconds. I had 30 minutes allotted. So when I saw that, I was like a little stressed out. And I thought, you know what? We're just gonna do our best. And if we don't finish in 30, and I told them, I said, you're asking a lot. If I don't finish it in 30 minutes, we're gonna do our best. And then we might have to revisit and come back to this, But I kind of had to, like even talking about it, my heart's racing because it was really stressful for me. Because the human voice is not a perfect instrument, and it's never perfect. No vocalist is ever perfect, sorry to tell you that. There's always a wrong note or a wrong something in a song because it's a human voice, it's not an electrical instrument that you can kind of count on to play the right note. So I put a lot of stress on myself. But then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna do my little breathing, and I'm gonna just do my best. And whatever comes out, comes out. And at the end, we're gonna say, you know what? We need to revisit this.
And nothing relaxes you more than somebody going, sing perfectly now. Now.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we got about 4 questions left here, so we're going to get through these questions here. Hello, what's your name?
Hi, guys. I'm Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
I'm meeting Ariel. It's so great. My question is for both of you. Out of the whole experience of The Little Mermaid, what is your most memorable experience?
Everybody knows mine. It's recording my song with Howard Ashman in the studio with me. That's my memory. I get to have that forever and ever, and I'm so grateful. Yeah, really grateful.
I think just realizing, when I realized that what it was becoming, I think that was the most amazing part for me, that I had been blessed to be associated with this project that was going to change things, and it was going to have some legs to it, and it was going to move through time and share it with many different people. That was a real powerful moment when I realized it was, again, the legacy Mitch mentioned earlier. That really has stuck with me.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Katrina.
Hi, Katrina.
So first of all, Jodi, a random part of my childhood was the Songs from the Beginner's Bible, and you were great in that. Thank you. So I know you mentioned Howard Ashman already, but I think a lot of credit has to go to him and Alan Menken for the popularity of The Little Mermaid. So my question is, do you have a favorite specific lyric from a Howard Ashman song?
Oh, that's hard because all of the story of Part of Your World is such a beautiful monologue that happens to be put to music. I do like Bright Young Women, Sick of Swimmin', Ready to Stand. I think that's so beautiful, and especially for her as a mermaid with a fin, to be able to express something like that she felt. But all of his lyrics are just so perfect. So it's hard to pick.
I always thought, what makes a fire and why does it burn is such a beautiful, because of the double entendre of her spirit, it's such a beautiful line.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. Hello, what's your name?
Stetson.
Hi, Stetson.
Hi, nice to meet you. I have a two-part kind of question. I'll fit into one. Jodi, I know I watched you with the other Renaissance princesses, and you got to sing with them. If you could be any other Renaissance princess, who would you be? And my other part is, do your children, do they truly understand the weight of the nostalgia and the legacy that you bring to women and everybody across the world for multiple generations?
Very sweet. Part one, I grew up, and this is not a Renaissance princess, this is an original, but I grew up with Cinderella, so that was really my princess growing up. And yeah, so that would be amazing to play her.
Are you just saying that because you have Prince Charming
No,
next to you?
no, he knows that's my princess. And then, yes, my kids do know. They do. They're so grateful, and they've grown up with Disney, obviously, and they love every aspect of it, and they love what I am a part of, and they're so supportive. And they also understand the legacy aspect of it and how important this character is to people. So it's really fun, to watch them experience that. But yeah, they get it, and they're thankful.
Awesome. Thanks for making us part of your world.
Christopher, do you
Fine,
have
don't ask me what princess I want to be. Whatever.
who besides Ariel, who is your favorite Disney princess?
Oh, there is no other Disney princess. This is a married man right here. I know the right. That's a trick question. Trick question. What other Disney princesses?
He has no eyes for anyone else.
Hi, my name is Jerisha. I really enjoyed the Once Upon a Studio short that was released recently. If it would be possible, do you think you would return as Ariel and sing other famous Disney songs if there was an album released?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, anytime Disney calls, I answer and say yes.
Wonderful.
Because
Thank you
I
so
know
much.
it's going to just be filled with creativity, and it's going to be pursuing excellence, and it's going to be fun.
Well, maybe Christopher can give it a try.
I'm up for anything. When Disney doesn't call me, they don't return my phone calls, so
Well, they
I'm
did
knocking on their
because
door.
you're-
I'm like,
well, you
I'll
did
do it.
Well, you were Spider-Man and Prince Charming.
That's
so
right.
they're-
That's
right.
right.
This is
So-
I mentioned this at the last time we hung out, but you've been 2 Disney princes.
I've been Prince Charming,
Right.
Prince Eric,
You've
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Like, where is
Yeah.
the petition for
Yes.
your Disney Legend
Disney Legend.
nomination? Right? I want to circle back to that first question. They asked you, did you have anything from the studio? But do you have anything, what does your Little Mermaid at-home collection look like? Or your Prince Eric or Spider-Man collection? Do you have toys, action figures, lunch boxes, T-shirts, stuff like that, posters?
Well, when we come to these conventions, very often people will give us gifts, and so I have to have a separate bag that I take home of items. And then what I do is I take pictures of them, and I'll post them on social media. If people give me things, and then I have this. It's kind of a growing collection because I don't have the heart to throw. I'm not going to throw it out. You know what I mean? And so I've got this wall, and a part of my office is now it's this growing Disney collectible, but it's all Prince Eric and Little Mermaid stuff, and some Spider-Man stuff too.
It's definitely have an incredible collection, and not all of it is displayed, obviously, in our house, but I have certain areas where I've got my special pieces and things like that. But, just like Chris said, we take pictures and we try to share everything, and everybody's so kind, so sweet, so thoughtful.
You mentioned, fans giving you gifts. And for you to come to Oklahoma City at GalaxyCon events, right? To hear the stories of folks that you have inspired literally for 35 years, to hear their stories about how they grew up watching you, or how maybe this movie got them through tough times. What is that like to be able to hear those stories, look at their eyes directly, and connect to people that you've been connecting with out there in that atmosphere for 35 years.
Well, that's the part that, we're so grateful for, we're thankful for, that we get to hear everyone's story and what our characters mean to you, what our film means to you, and we take that very seriously. It's something really powerful that sticks with you. Especially on a weekend like this, you're hearing hundreds of stories, and that's the part that I enjoy, is finding out, what does this mean to you? And I ran out of Kleenexes, but I have a Kleenex box, I just ran out, where, because it triggers a lot of people's feelings and emotions, and people always apologize for crying to me, and I'm always like, please don't apologize, because your tears are really healing. They're so important to be able to let those flow, because they do have healing property in them, and the fact that it's triggering a core memory for you, and then we get to be a small part of that, of your journey and of your life story, is really, really magical.
Yeah, I've
really
had people
a blessing.
come up to me and say things like that about how it was a core memory and they're part of their childhood. And with Little Mermaid, also with Spider-Man, people have come up to me and said, you helped me get through being bullied in school, and and all these really intense things with their family that they went through, or positive memories with a loved one that's not there anymore. They have these these memories and they share them with us, and we're a part of that. And it's a huge honor because the art sang to them, and they related to it, and it created something in their lives. And that's why I'm with the gifts. I'm so honored, and I always make sure we, like you said, we take the pictures and we have them in our homes. And you hear stories of other people that don't take it as seriously. You know what I mean? And they don't respect the gifts and the fans. And I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, if I was there, I would be like, you better pick that up, bro. You better honor it, you know what I mean? Because it's important, it's important.
So if you haven't come by already, please head over, share your stories, and now